it's Greg here with Outdoors on the Cheap, and today I'm going to talk about a way to take your folding saw, whatever kind of folding saw it doesn't matter what type, and to turn it into a tool that's more than what it was designed to be. So here I've got a Silky Gum by 240. I've painted it these outrageous colors so I don't lose it when I lay it on the ground, which you shouldn't do, but inevitably you're going to lay it on the ground, and if it's not at some outrageous color you're going to lose it. So this is designed to be folded and put in your pocket. You can carry it on your person, you can carry it in a backpack, whatever. You can carry it in a little sheath. And it's very handy, very convenient, cuts well, cuts on the pole. I like it. But what if I need to reach something that's higher than I can reach? I'm in camp and I'm just there's a few dead branches on a tree I want to use for a fire, but they're out of my reach. Or maybe I'm fly fishing and I found the perfect spot to cast from, except there's a branch that keeps hooking my flies. You know, you fly fisher going back and forth. So I can get that out of the way. Or, which is another thing, you do spend a lot of time in the woods, especially like wild forests. You got to clear a trail. You've got a trail that you use to get through the woods. And every so many years, you know, the branches sort of find their way back into the trail. And if it's rained or if it's snowed, you go through the trail, you get completely soaked, you get stuff all over you. It just becomes impassable. If we're using that trail for hunting, you don't want to be pushing branches out of the way. You want to be sort of focused on what you're doing. So something like this is useful for that because you can carry it. But to make it a lot more useful for any of the things I just mentioned, having it attached to a pole is really handy. If you're clearing trail, it means you don't have to squat and get up and squat and get up. You can just, you know, reach down and, right? Because you're not just taking the branches that are in your face, you're getting the ones that are touching your pants, touching your thighs, getting you soaked, right? Or tripping you when you're snowshoeing, all that sort of stuff. So it's handy to have it lashed to something like that. Now, of course, there's purpose-built saws that you can buy for that, but this is Outdoors on the Cheap. Why not just use the one you got? It works fine. And all you got to do is lash it to a stick. There's all kinds of ways to lash something to a stick, but I'm going to show you a really easy way to do it, an effective way to do it, especially for temporary way to do it for like 1 or 2 cuts or for cutting all day. Okay, so the knot I'm going to show you is called a jam knot, or some people call it the Canadian jam knot. I don't know if it was developed by the Canadian Armed Forces or what. It's ideal if your saw has a little hole in the back, but it's not absolutely necessary. So what you're going to do is lash it to, I've got a walking stick here, but anything will do really. And I mean, ideally, something like a hockey stick would be good, something that's got flat sides. And if I really wanted to be, you know, I don't care about this stick too much, but I actually plane it down so it's kind of flatter on one side, the side I'm going to attach it to. But the first thing I want to do, because this stick is uneven, is I want to find, when I squeeze this, where does the stick want to attach? Like if I put it like this, it wants to roll. There's certain configurations where the stick wants to roll. So you want to see, like, where's a place I can squeeze it on and it sort of stays in position. Right there seems good. So I'm just going to make a mark here and a mark there, so I know that's the top. Okay. This rubber handle, you know, in an ideal world, I'd plane this flat, but because I've got a rubber handle, it sort of accepts a little bit. It pushes in, so that's fine. I can work with that. I actually have a little bit of springiness here, so I can get compression on the attachment. Okay, so I'm going to attach it in 3 places. I'm going to attach it at the end, at the other end, and in the middle. Okay, 2 attachments would be fine, but 3 is more reliable. And I'm going to use a jam knot. So you can use paracord for this sort of thing, but I think it's a waste. Like the jam knot, you have to cut it to, I mean, there's ways you can untie it and that sort of thing, but generally speaking, the jam knot is a cut. You cut it to release it. Okay, a lot of, you know, the ideal bushcraft knots, you tie them, they tie tight, you untie them. The jam knot's ridiculously easy to tie. It attaches very, very tight, which is what you want for something like this. But it's virtually impossible to release. You have to sort of cut it off, so you lose that rope or that cordage. Okay, so you use something like this bank line as opposed to paracord. You can buy it in big roll. When I bought this initially, the roll was probably 1/2 inch thicker. And I've had this for over a decade, right? I mean, you can get one of these for, I don't know, 10 bucks, 20 bucks. Sometimes they have a kind of cheap version of this at the dollar store for 3 bucks. So there's different kinds. I like this one here. It's very soft and sticky. So there's a kind of, it's tarred, right? It's not dirty, but it's got a sort of stickiness. So when you tie a knot, it really sticks. And it's really easy to have, you know, you can very easily bring 50 feet of this in your back pocket sort of thing, just rolled in little hanks. I think these are called hanks. I tend to use 3 hand spans. So what's that? 6 times 3, 18 feet. That's what this is right here. I find that's a good amount. You can do a lot with that. So you have 2 or 3 of those, and you can do a lot. You can solve a lot of problems, right? Not as versatile as paracord, but way cheaper. And I mean, I think it's got a 220-pound braking strength, so useful for just about anything, right? Okay, so how do we tie this knot? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just attach a really simple overhand knot to hold it together while I'm doing all this work. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap this around a few times in the middle. So this knot's going to come undone. Okay, but it's just to hold it together because, you know, like a clamp. Okay, so I'm just going to tie that once, and this is just an overhand knot, almost like the way you tie your shoes. Okay, so nothing too fancy there. This is just to hold it in place while I'm doing all this other stuff. Okay, now I'm going to do the first jam knot. Okay, so I've got a hole in this, so it sort of creates a natural fixed point, so I'm going to use that. Okay, so the jam knot, all it is I got it looped here. I got videos on how to make this, but you just do a very simple overhand knot. I apologize if this is hard to see. And then another overhand knot through the free end. I'll hold this up close so you can see in a sec. I'm going to do this 3 times, so I'll show you it from multiple angles. Okay, so this is the sort of loose end here. Here's the knot we tied. So we've got this overhand knot, and then just what they call a stop knot at the end. Okay, now you get this as snug as you can with your hands. Make sure everything's where you want it. Notice how I've got the stick going beyond. I'm going to make an attachment point right here because there's a nice little spot where I can get bank line in here. And I have one in the middle, and I got one attached to this hole in the back. Now this is all because they won't slip from these positions, right? There's something sort of, this is the narrowest part. There's a little thing here where I can get the rope in, and it'll stay in place. Okay. Anyway, once you've got that done, you just work it back and forth, and the knot comes together and tightens into itself. Okay, then you cut her off and you put another knot behind it like this. So my hands are hiding this. So it's behind the knot. You attach that. Okay, so that's one. And that's not going to move, and that's pretty tight. Okay. Now we'll attach one over here. Okay, so same process. Bring it around. I'm going to get it down past that. Make a single overhand knot. Then make my stop knot. Then start cranking it. Like that. That's not going loose, so I'll just attach that, cut that off right there. Okay, now I can undo this middle knot here. See how there's space right there? When I do this final knot, that space is going to disappear. and that'll give it, you know, I'm using the natural spring both in the wood and in the handle of the saw, and attaching a knot to that so that it really attaches well. Okay, so same thing. So right around the middle at the narrowest point, I start my jam knot. Right, single overhand knot. This is basically like a slip knot, right? So all we got is this, we got a slip. This is basically a slip knot, if you can see that. Okay, so we get that nice and tight, and then I make my stop knot. And then decide where it's going to be and start cranking it. You see right at this stage the stop knot's up here, but we keep cranking it back and forth until the stop knot is tight against the other knot. You're bringing the two knots together with friction. Okay. Now a steady diet of this is probably not good for your saw handle, but you know, if you do it once or twice a year, I don't think it's a big deal. If you're really concerned, you can wrap something around the handle before you do this. Now for this one here, I'm going to do another stop knot. Right, so I'm just feeding this free end through. Like that. And I'm just putting a half hitch. All right. That's what that is. Half hitch. This all sounds complicated, but this is a really easy knot. These are easy knots, and this, you know, didn't take too long, right? You're just doing a jam knot with a stopper behind it. There's lots of videos on doing that. I've got videos on the jam knot. So now I got this attached. I can double up these if I want. I can reinforce them. Also, there's another way to do the jam knot where you do 2 wraps before applying the jam knot. That's a really good one as well, and would be useful for something like this. I didn't do that because this rubber has so much friction. It sticks really well anyway, so I've got a good connection. But if this handle was like something hard and wasn't so soft, like right, this handle really grabs the cordage well. But if I had something harder, like if I was going to do it against a hard plastic knife like this, for instance, making a spear or what have you, then I'd want to wrap it around twice before building my jam knot. But now I've got a very, like, this isn't wiggling, this isn't wobbling, this isn't incredibly stiff, it's not moving at all, right? This is ready for a lot of use. If I wanted to be, you know, if I was going to do a lot of work with this, I might double up this one on the front here because this one's going to take a lot of stress, right? So put a second knot on it, that sort of thing. But use the same knot, the jam knot. Okay? And that's all you got to do. So now I've taken a hand saw, a folding saw. I mean, it's a two-handed saw really, but now I've made it a real two-handed saw where I've got a nice, it's about 240 millimeters. It's almost a foot of blade. But now I can hold it, you know, and use it like almost like a bow saw. Get your whole body into it. I can reach up high, and you know, this stick can be as long as I can find. I could use something 7-8 feet long if I had to, right? Sometimes when you're setting up camp, if you look around above you, you'll have these big trees, and all the lower branches are dead and have been dead for years, and they're bone dry. And sometimes that's the best wood. So you just knock those off with something like this, and you've got at least a night's worth of decent firewood, right? But also for just working trail, right? When you're trying to clear a trail, it's just, you know, instead of going like this, you're using your whole body. It's less fatiguing over time. And as I mentioned previously, you can get down to those lower spots without having to squat and bend over and all that sort of stuff, which, you know, it's fine if you're a young whippersnapper, but as the years pile on, you only get so much of that in you for a day. So anything you can do to minimize fatigue is worthwhile if you got a lot of work to do. As I mentioned earlier, these knots are sort of a one-way trip, especially when you put the stopper knot behind them. They really don't come off. But bank line's cheap. You do this with throwaway line. You can use your paracord. And if you are going to use your paracord, a really good way to do this is to take the center part of the paracord out and just use the outside housing of the paracord. For whatever reason, it tightens up better for something like this. But I don't know, paracord's not cheap. I would use something like in my kit, I've always got paracord and bank line, and I tend to go a lot heavier on bank line because it's just, paracord's got a certain degree of versatility because you can take the center out and use those as strands and that sort of thing. But bank line's cheap and you can carry a lot of it, and it's very strong, and it's great for making knots, and you can do a lot with it. Right? So if I had to pick one or the other, I'd actually tend to bring bank line along, even though paracord is the survivalist bushcraft thing. Anyway, since this is a sort of throwaway, the way you release this is just cut her off, right? And the saw is back to the way it was. I got a bit of an indentation for where I made that really tough knot there, but that's fine. These things are built to be used. All right. So just a quick and easy way to take your folding saw and turn it into something a little bit more than what it was designed to be, a little more functional, a little more versatile, and a little less fatiguing on the body if you're going to be using over a long length of time. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and until next time, enjoy the outdoors on the cheap. Thanks for watching.